The fastest way you're going to level up is when you truly set that intention to never compromise yourself. You have to understand that most of you guys exist in this perpetuation of self-compromise. You don't want to be your authentic self. You don't express yourself to the fullest. You said you were going to do something and then you retreat, you back down. You let the excuses, you let the doubt, you let the fear creep in and tear you apart. What you have to understand is that every dip is a stepping stone to the next step. And so when you hit that dip, that's the moment you transmutate. And so you climb the steps. But most of you guys, you slowly rot and decay in the dip. And that is where you compromise yourself. And so we have to understand that if you want to get to the next level, well, you have to stop compromising yourself. And every dip is that stepping stone. And so most of you guys, you feel the dip, the negative emotion, the negative wave of current kicks into your system. And now you're sitting there in the lowest of emotions while you despondently think about how you're never going to make it. And then you doubt yourself, and then you question yourself, and then you remain in the same position and you stagnate in that lower dip. What you have to understand is that the dip is the is the emotion you need to get to that next level. The dip is the confirmation that you're growing. If you were staying in the same place, you wouldn't feel a dip. You would feel the same all the time, and you would be rotting slowly. And so that negative emotion is a key signal that you are moving in the trajectory where you need to go. But the negative emotion must be transmuted. You have to conquer that resistance, and that conquering of resistance is going to spit you out on the step where, you know, if you stayed in that dip, you didn't step up. Well, now you're stuck there. But the moment you transmute that dip, well, you're taking a step forward. And so most of you guys, you instantly drown against the dip. You let yourself go. You compromise yourself. The dip was too much. Now you're sitting there and you're questioning yourself, and you're in this lower state of consciousness. What you have to do is transform the negative emotion into power. You have to understand that power is momentum, and momentum is going to be garnered through the transmutation of and the facilitation of the negative emotion into positivity. You have to understand that if you were in the same emotion all the time, if you always felt good, well, you have to understand that there's not going to be much momentum. The negativity is the momentum. The moment you feel negative, you now have this force that is pressurizing you to blast in the direction you want to go. And so most of you guys, you stay down. You let the negative emotion get the best of you, and you lose momentum. You compound backwards. You reverse. You start doubting yourself. You start to look in the mirror. You don't even see what you want to be. What you have to understand is that the dip is the stepping stone. Step the fuck up or stay the fuck down. And every time you step up, that's when you got to the next level. So every dip is the next level. Every time you feel that dip, you're either going to take the step or you're going to stay down. When you stay down, you compromise yourself. When you step up, you unveil yourself, who you unveil to yourself who you are through the transmutation of that dip. And most of you guys wonder, how am I going to transmute this dip? I feel negative. Well, you simply hit the workout. What do we do every day that puts us in a positive state of mind and puts us in a state of consciousness where we are in a charged state, high voltage, and we are moving with momentum? What habit do we do every day that puts us in that state of mind? Very simple, the fucking workout. And so when you get into that state, that dip, well, you simply look in the mirror and you hit that fucking workout, and you channel all that negative emotion into positive emotion. Now, most of you guys, you work out with hate. Don't work out with hate. Feel the negativity and transmute it into love. Because most of you guys, you go into the gym and you're acting like a douche. You're angry and you're upset. But you have to understand that is that's shrinking you. What you have to do is go into the gym. This is exactly what I do. You might as well just copy it. You go into the gym silent. You put on the music that hits you the most. You pick up something that is going to challenge you, and you conquer the resistance. You project the mental resistance in your mind onto the weight. You see the weight, and whatever is keeping you down, whatever emotion that dip is, manifesting and bringing forth out of your mind. Because you have to understand that the dip was always there. You're simply confronting the dip, and if you don't do anything to change it and transform it, that dip is going to fall back into the back of your mind, and you're going to be stuck in a web of doubt, apathy, guilt, shame. And so you have to understand, again, that the dip was always there, But now you've attained the level where the dip is being brought forth. Something is pulling out the dip, and now you can do some shit to transform it because you're aware of it. Before, you weren't aware of the dip, and so it was a suppressed emotion. But now, since the awareness is being brought to your soul, now we can go into the gym and we can truly facilitate ourselves in the process of transmuting that negative emotion into a positive current that is going to leave us in a high voltage state. And so what I do is I project that emotion onto the weight. This weight is going to challenge me. This weight is resistance. The resistance I feel in my mind, I project it onto the weight. I conquer it. Every rep, I conquer it. Then after I'm done conquering it, I leave with a stillness so profound that you wouldn't even believe anything is bothering me. You have to understand that resilience and discipline go hand in hand. It's a cohesive thing. When you discipline your mind, you're also building resilience. You have to build resilience. You have to be still when you feel the most angry, and then you have to erupt that with the workout, and you have to project that emotion onto the weight. And now you're going to be in such an intense level, you're going to be transmutating all that energy that you're going to leave the gym and you're going to feel like a different person. But most of you guys, you don't know how to facilitate and correspond to the proper alchemization of the negative emotion. And so most of you guys, you have to join the personal development community, because we go into depth about the alchemy, about the transmutation, about our subconscious mind, and how we can really rewire ourselves to be the best version of ourselves, how the identity that we exist within is really something we could change. We don't have to be the same low-level piece of shit our entire lives, but we can actually do some shit to change some shit. And so the personal development community, well, you can DM me on Instagram and I'll send you the link. You can join as a free member. If you want to simply go to the link below and click the link and make an account, it's free, and you go in there and you absorb all the content. Well, you have to understand that you're going to be a different individual when you're done absorbing all of it. And so it's not even about the community. It's about the information in the community that is going to create and synthesize a higher product, which is you. You are your existential product. And you're going to be able to execute productivity at a higher level. Productivity, productive, conduct, conducive, right? So we're inducing and conducing high voltage and high levels of personal development into ourselves. It's very fucking simple. And so most of you guys, you sit there, you ride in the dip, and you never actually transmutate it, you never actually fix it. And so the best thing to do is alchemize yourself and get the information needed to do so, because most of you guys don't even know how to properly alchemize. Most of you guys don't even know how to properly assess and maneuver your way through space and time to actually do some shit, to fix some shit, and correspond to the benefit of the transmutation of. Because if you're going to leave the gym with the same resistance that you entered with, if you did something with the intention to cure the resistance and to overcome the resistance and to take that next step forward, but you left with the same resistance inhabiting your mind, so you still exist within the resistance you were meant to conquer, well, there's something you're doing wrong. And so what we're doing is we're providing you the resources to truly assess how you're going to overcome this resistance at the highest level, and so you can actually attain the victory against the resistance and build yourself up, so when the suppression of your emotion comes into reflection into your conscious mind, you now have the ability to properly correspond to the alchemization of. So most of you guys are so quick to rot in the dip, and most of you guys don't even understand that the dip was always there. Something is now pulling that dip out of you so you can transform it and overcome what was suppressed deep within you. And so it's very fucking simple. You're either going to overcome the dip or you're going to rot in it. You're either going to take the step forward or you're going to stay down and you're going to remain where the fuck you are, and you're never going to take that next step and get to the next level. It's very fucking simple. The choice is yours. Peace.